What's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. This video, it's going to be a little bit more informal and kind of an idea on what you should be spending your gems on going forward for the next 2 to 4 weeks. Some of the things that could be possibly coming out, as well as some of the things that are not coming back. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So one of the things that keeps being brought up, no matter who I talk to, is, hey Seka, what banners do I pull on? Do I pull for this? Do I save for this? Do I do this for my gems? And it's really hard to determine where you guys are as a free-to-play player versus pay-to-play player or pay-to-flex. I like pay-to-flex better. So we're going to call a free-to-play or pay-to-flex. So we're going to be going over some things in this video about different units that I think are hard skip for both subsets of players. And then the third subset, of course, is Big Hualin. And those people spend, way too much money on the game, but we love you guys because you make the fun stuff and you kill people with crazy teams, and that's awesome. So the first unit that could be potentially coming out around Chapter 7 is Demon Meliodas. Now a lot of people are like, wait, what about Thur? What about Thur? I'm like, chill, bro. Now the reason Demon Meliodas is one of those units that could be coming out pretty soon is because the next fight that is going to be coming out or a raid boss or deathmatch battle is going to be Crimson Demon. And the boosted damage unit is actually Red Demon Meliodas. Red Demon Meliodas was leaked at one point to have a banner. His banner was supposed to have Gallant near it. There's some data mined leaks about Gallant's costumes, and there's even data mined costumes for Sailor cosmetics and all that stuff that were released and all that. And everybody saw them, so I mean, it's not in the universe. I'm just informing you about Demon Meliodas. Is he's a actual hard skip. Wait, second. Demon Meliodas is a hard skip. Yes, Demon Meliodas is Red Demon Meliodas is a full hard skip. Please do not pull for this Demon Meliodas. He is not a needed unit. There's actually another unit that you could be using for all your extreme demons for Red as well as Crimson Demon, and this is Red SR Lizhawk. If you're a budget player, or free to play, or even pay to flex a little bit, then this unit is actually a skip unit. You don't actually need this unit. It doesn't improve your account, and you're only using it for one thing, and that thing is Crimson Demon. It's like pulling for Blue Slater, but only specifically for Blue Slater on a new banner. Would you do that? If you would pull for another Blue Slater and you're very much in love with that type of character that does massive damage just on one set of content, then go for it. But Lizhawk does the exact same thing, but she does it for 2 sets of content. Personally, I find that to be way more efficient than pulling for this unit in particular, but whatever you want to do. And of course, if you're Big Hualin, do whatever you want. Alright, the next unit I'm getting to be asked about is Red Helbram. And Red Helbram is also going to be a skip character if you are free to play, pay to little budget player, or if you're pay to flex. All 3 of those subsets of players should not be pulling for Red Helbram. Why, Seka? Well, for 2 reasons. First off, Red Helbram is a general pull unit. You can pull him on every single banner in the game. And to be perfectly honest, if you can pull a unit in a different banner, you shouldn't really be pulling him at all. The only reason to pull for coin shop units right now is because you can actually pull for them, and it's actually much more budget than putting coin shop dupes in for. Well, wait a second. I heard that Red Helbram was a really good meta for Kingbrum and all that stuff. Yeah, that's true. But basically, all 3 of those subsets, if you're already pushing in PvP, you're doing pretty well, and you haven't, if you've already hit Masters or Champion, you don't really need to pull for this unit. It's a pay to flex unit for sure. This unit came out super early in Japan in comparison, and was very strong for a very long time, and it's still strong today on JP, but you don't need to pull for him because you get him later from other banners. It's not even a big deal. But if you're Big Hualin, go for it, man, whatever you're gonna do. Gallant, this is also a hard skip. He's a really cool unit, and he brings into the game commandments and lots of fun things there. But to be perfectly honest, he only lasted for 2 weeks on Japan, and then he kind of easily fell off. And the reason he was not that great was he came out right before Escanor. Kind of see how that Escanor's green, really hard against single target, he's blue. You can kind of see why he didn't last very long. It seems very similar to the anime in some form. Gallant goes right now though. There's no reason to even bring out Gallant at all because his commandment is completely based off characters like Thur and Hauser. Characters that rank up skills and de-rank skills. There's not a ton of de-ranking characters besides Green Elaine, and No one's using this kind of thing. I mean, there's also red nunchuck bond, but his commandment doesn't really come into play, like, at all. His passive is actually pretty cool, but to be perfectly honest, this whole kit is kind of just not needed in PvP at all. His only real viability has his first ability having Amplify, and to be perfectly honest, that's kind of a thing, you know? Alright, and then the last unit of this, of course, is Red Gother, and Red Gother is, yes, hard freaking pull best unit in the game. Whenever you get it, whenever it comes out, we don't know. If it's next week, great. If it's not next week and it's not coming out on Tuesday and it's like in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, we don't know when it's coming out. Yeah, hard pull. This is a duh for everybody. Everybody should pull for this. Everybody. Alright guys, so let's go over some of the other things that you could be spending your gems on. And one of the things that you could be spending your gems on are these amazing cosmetics in the shop right now. Now, a lot of these cosmetics right now, of course, if you go over to any of them, click on this one, it's gonna be very expensive. It's like 50 bucks. Apparently I'm on JP. Well, you know, 4,900 yen if you didn't change your app store. I know the whole thing's in English and it says 4,900 yen. That's a mega lol. Yeah, but apparently I'm still in the JP app store because, you know, I gotta. You know. So the mass worth it's not 50 bucks. It's 39.99. I'm sorry. So it's 40 bucks on the English version. It's maybe be 50 bucks where you are, where the exchange rates are. But obviously exchange rates are different everywhere, so we don't know. But essentially, it's 39.99 for me in the U.S. The way that math kind of breaks out in the U.S. is it is 16. I think it's like 15.99 for the just base cosmetics. So 16 of those dollars are base cosmetics, and then 26 of those dollars are for the gems. So for the plus 50 gems, you're buying them basically on a BOGO event, so plus one gems. So that's what you would get if you bought one of these cosmetics for dollars. Is that worth it? Well, that's up to you and your wallet, bro. I do not know your financial situation. If you're big Hualin, yeah, sure, that's worth it. It's a good deal. If you're pay to flex, it's 50-50. If you're free to play or budget player, fuck no. Fuck no. All right, so the one you definitely have to pick up, which I was very generously donated to from a viewer on the stream, is the Hauser cosmetic. And no matter what, I 100% recommend picking up, if you're free to play, budget player, whoever, picking up this Hauser weapon. The Hauser weapon out of the cosmetic, which will be available on March 31st, is going to give you 8% pierce and 6% critical damage. As far as weapons go, I have never in the entire game seen a better weapon in the game, okay? This is the best weapon in the game. Not like, oh, it's best weapon for Hauser. No, it's in the game. Best weapon in the game. To give you scale, right now, these are the other cosmetics that are available. We have a Hendrickson weapon right now for 2% pierce rate and 5% crit chance. We have a Slater's weapon, which has 10% pierce, which is insanely good too. This is an insanely good weapon if you really like Slater. I mean, if you really want to pick up the weapon, but if you don't want to, I mean, they're trash. All right, let's go over a Meliodas weapon here. This one has 1% crit chance and 6% crit damage. Compare that to the 8% pierce and 6% critical damage on the Hauser. That weapon is fire. Do not miss it. It is the best weapon in the game. Go down to like Helbram's weapon. Helbram's weapon here is a 2% pierce rate, 3% crit chance, 2% crit damage. This is a really good weapon too, but like there's not a lot of really insane UR cosmetics in the shop to notice that there's a weapon that is better. Does Bond really have 3 UR weapons right now? God damn, dude. It does. Holy shit. Okay, so by the way, Blue Bond, unsung hero in PvP right now for Big Hualin, because he has 3 fucking weapons. I did not know. That's super OP. Like, right, he's the only character in the game that has that many cosmetics for weapons. God damn. Balancing, please? Netmarble, balancing. Really? Balancing? That's a lot of UR weapons, just saying. So going back to these, the other weapon that I would consider picking up would be Jericho's weapon, because this one has critical damage. And this one you can definitely pick up for gems. If you want to buy for dollar dues, go for it. I mean, it's up to you, your budget, all that, whatever. Also, her headpiece has 2% lifesteal, so that's somewhat valuable. And I would definitely consider picking it up. It really depends on your level of, well, maybe, I don't know. It might be good. Now, lifesteal's super valuable in a lot of content. So, yeah, definitely on a human character that relies on doing damage and is squishy AF. Hauser's headpiece, though, is 7% regeneration rate, which is absolutely dog shit. But, you know, the problem with Hauser is he doesn't have a lot of headpieces that come out. So, I mean, you gotta buy it. It sucks. So, the armor piece is a really good armor piece, and you could probably buy it, or you just not buy it, up to you. But all three of the cosmetics for Hauser are insanely good. Hauser is good long-term in PvP as well as long-term in PvE, so it's really good to pick these weapons and cosmetics. Personally, on JP, I actually can't run Hauser on the comps I wanted to run Hauser on, and the reason I can't run Hauser, or I couldn't run Hauser at the time, was because Hauser, I didn't have these cosmetics, and this was the biggest problem for me, is I did not on Japan have these cosmetics, because at the time when these cosmetics were out, which was in the first few weeks of the game, I did not know about stat increases from cosmetics, and like it's one of my biggest regrets. And these cosmetics came back for dollars later, and it was in the same packs, I think, as they are now. And I was like, this is trash. I don't want to spend $40 for these cosmetics. That's crazy. In conclusion, there's some really shitty headpieces, like this Gale Thunder headpiece only giving 3% regeneration. Oh my god, this is crappy. But there are a lot of problems with these units, is that they don't have a lot of free-to-play cosmetics. So if you did want to get a max rack of cosmetics, these are ones you might have to pick up. And Gale Thunder is a really good long-term unit. Jericho's a decent long-term unit and a really good support unit for a lot of different characters, especially Ban. Gila is also a very good support unit for both Hauser as well as Gale Thunder and Gale Thunder and Jericho. So all three of those characters. So Gila is another good pickup just for her stuff. And that's the problem with these banners coming out, is there's a lot of good units coming out going forward. But the main issue is that you're going to need a lot of cosmetics for your main team and support team to actually do well in Gearless PvP. The reason I say you're going to need those is because the way that your team scales is actually based off only 3 different things. The first is your character level and awakening level, so whatever stats you get from that. The next is your ultimate level, and that's a big one. So whatever ultimate level is giving you 200 combat class per ultimate level. And then the third one, which is really big, is cosmetics. And I make this joke a lot about the Japanese version and in PvP. It's costume wars. Gearless PvP at a certain point does not become a tactics fight. It's literally who has better cosmetics goes first. Because if you have ultimates all maxed out, you have your characters all pimped out and everything, it's a war between characters who has better cosmetics in the game for Gearless PvP for who goes first. But it doesn't mean you're only going to fight people with better cosmetics. The best thing that you can do for yourself is try to figure out, hey, where do I want to spend my gems? If you guys don't plan on doing any PvP throughout the entire game at all, you're missing out on a lot of gems, bro. A lot of gems you're missing out on. But you don't need to pick up these units. You don't need to pick up these cosmetics. The Hauser one, the Hauser weapon, 100%, even if you're never doing PvP ever. Yes, buy that. Everyone should buy that. There's no person in the entire game who should not buy Hauser's weapon. Please buy Hauser's weapon. Or, don't. And I'll see you in PvP, bro. Alright guys, my name's Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just want to make this a little informal video so I can give you guys some information on some of the things coming out to the global version and some things happening these few weeks, so you guys can understand where I think you should be spending your gems versus not spending your gems. This has actually been my plan to do for about 2 to 3 weeks. I knew that these cosmetics were coming and I knew I needed to pick them up no matter what. But if you guys are free to play or pay to play, these are things you cannot miss out on, which is very unfortunate because it's at a time where you feel like you really need to be pulling to improve your account. Honestly, this is going to improve your account way more, and you're going to have way better long-term rewards from buying these cosmetics than pulling out a banner with a coin shop unit that you can pick up later. I'm going to say that again, you can always pick these units up later. It's not like they're gone forever. There's no limited units that have been released to the global version at all. Cosmetics, though, are limited, so please pick those up. My name's Sekapoko, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like and subscribe, all the fun stuff. And you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace.